So today we're just looking at bottle versus bowl. So there's different theories around which one is best, which one to use. I'm not advocating you should try one or the other. I'm just letting you know what works for us and what's worked for Pom Pom. So we started off when we got Pom Pom in a cage for the first 2 weeks as a baby. They sold us one of these drip bottles that you attach to the cage. And even after he stopped using his cage, we attached this to the outside of the cage and kept the cage in the room, although the cage was open, so he could still drink. And what we found was basically it's a rollable mechanism, so they would have to lick the end in order to get tiny little drips of water at a time. So we found, obviously, you rotate the ball once, you get a tiny drop, you rotate it again, you get a tiny drop. He would sit for 5-10 minutes in the evening just rolling this ball to get tiny drops of water. He wasn't peeing a lot, so it just struck us that perhaps he wasn't drinking enough out of this, because it is a lot of hard work for them. I can imagine that for a smaller animal, perhaps a guinea pig, the bottles might be okay, because they don't obviously need as much fluid as a larger animal, but it just didn't seem to be working for Pom Pom. There was one day he was a little bit poorly and he just wouldn't drink at all, he wouldn't take that. So my husband actually suggested, why not go for a bowl or a cup for him to drink out of. The only thing we had suitable to hand at the time was a little white ramekin, just a normal standard baking ramekin. I picked this one up from the Range store in store, and we filled it to the top with water and encouraged him to go to it, and he instantly seemed to like going to drink out of it. He can lap the water out of the bowl as they would do in the wild, which is a lot more natural for them. So he sits and laps the water, and we found that he started drinking the equivalent of one of these ramekins full a day, and he's peeing more, so he seems to be getting his desired allocated amount of fluids from the ramekin, which he wasn't getting from the bottle. So again, I'm not saying, bottles are bad, bottles are terrible, bottles are evil. I'm just saying for us, this worked a lot better. So we now have a bowl in his ramekin. He'll only drink out the ramekin because he associates this with his drinking. So we have one ramekin in a bowl so he doesn't spill it in his bedroom for the night. We have another one next to his other litter tray in the landing on the top of the stairs. We've got a big landing. He has his tray with his hay to eat, and he has his little pile of nuggets there in the day, and then he has his ramekin, which he knows where to go and find every day. And as I said, he would drink the equivalent of one of these from the top fill line to the bottom of these a day, and he's peeing a lot more. So we know he's taking in more fluids, which can only be healthier for him. So that's why we've gone for bowl and not bottle.